So to show how professional Nix is, because obviously he's one of the most professional guys out there, me and Devil were currently self-isolating in our cribs and so forth. And this dude called Nix is currently in Tesco. So for you Americans, Canadians, guys out there, Tesco is a shopping market. So he's currently. Wait, what are you shopping for?
I'm making rum punch, so I needed some orange juice.
Okay, what's for you know that I'm the chef
Thursday,
on this whole panel. What exactly is rum punch? Is that what you have for Christmas?
Well, actually, no, you can't have it for Christmas.
Did we have it at your party, Devil?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. That is good.
It's worth the journey. It's worth the journey.
Do you make it with the pieces of fruits and everything inside?
There's different ways to make it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I add orange juice and lemon juice, so that gives it the fruit taste. Obviously, Ray Nephew rum. You can use different rum. Today I'm using Ray Nephew. I use strawberry syrup and what else? I use Kool-Aid as well. So.
Yeah, it's dangerous, is what it is. It's dangerous.
It can be.
Okay, so guys, so you sent in your questions for the day. Remember, this is Thursday. This is, of course, the Football Dugout Q&A. So thank you for sending in your questions. But remember, guys, to support us and to gain access to extra content from your boys, support the Football Dugout, patreon.com/Football Dugout. That is patreon.com/Football Dugout. The link is in the description below. So, without further ado, let's go to our first question of the night. So our first question is, let's see. All right. Thank you very much from Tom's 333. For you, what is a generational talent and which current young players you would consider generational? So I think first the definition of a generational talent. So I think maybe we'll take in turns to define it and then say which ones are. So for me, a generational talent for me is, I look at a generation as being, you could argue 10 years. I'll say 10 years is a good barometer of like a generation, so Ramos, PK, you would argue of the similar generation. Rio, John Terry, they're one generation. Messi, Cristiano, they're of one generation. What's it called? Del Piero, Totti, they're of one generation. George Weah, and you could maybe say Baggio were of one generation. So it's people who are of a similar age to you. So I'd say maybe people who are within the 3-4 year age brackets as you. That is your particular generation. So I just think it's a 10-year cycle. So the young players who are to say, you obviously have to look at the prodigy. Mbappe is a generational talent. I would argue Sancho is a generational talent. And you may say, based on just what he's already done and because of how old defenders can be, you may have to argue De Ligt as well is a generational talent. So I would say, remember, talent based on just what these guys can do and how young they are. So I'll say De Ligt, Mbappe, and I would then say Sancho. Those are the three. And then, I see, if you push me, I'll still say the Us. Remember, you said talent. You didn't say form. You said talent. So I'll still put the Us in there as talent. Devil.
Yeah, for me, generational. I agree. You're looking at anywhere between 7 to 10 years is a generation. To be a generational talent, you have to be something that comes along once every 7 to 10 years. You can't be a generational player if someone who is 2 years, 3 years older than you has done what you've already is doing what you're doing. So that's why I would say Mbappe is a generational talent. And I think the word generational talent gets thrown around way too much. There's a lot of players who are very similar in their talent at the moment who are very good. But because there's so many of them, they can't be generational. It just is counterproductive. It doesn't make sense. It's contradictive. So players like Sancho, very good, but you also have Hudson-Odoi. You also have, Pulisic. You have these other players who are around the same age bracket who are also very, very talented. And the key word is talented. I might say that people go over the top about Hudson-Odoi, but he's clearly a very talented player, very, very talented player. But the problem is there's a lot of players in this generation who are similar. There's no real standout amongst that group. I'd say Sancho's at the top, but he's not clear enough for me to say he's a generational talent. Mbappe is the only one I can think of in terms of generational, where you think there's no one else of his age bracket who can touch him. He's clear. When you're talking about players like Messi is a generational talent, Cristiano Ronaldo is a generational talent, because those two are clear of everyone else in their generation. Mbappe is the same. I can't think of anyone else. Just him.
Nix.
Yeah, for me, I think when it comes to generational talent, for me, you have to be able to be one of the top 2, top 3 players in your position in the world when you've reached your peak. So you've got the talent to be potentially the best player in your position, or top 3. If you're talking about top 5, top 10, for me, it's not generational, because that means there's a number of players who are in and around your level. You have to have, really and truly, in your position, you probably have to have the capabilities to be in the best in your position. If we're going to be real honest, in the way that the word is thrown around, because we can't say Mbappe is a generational talent, and then in the same breath, I don't know, let's say even a Kalergi, because if both of them are generational talents, but Mbappe is clear of him, then we need a different word to define either Mbappe or define Kalergi. They can't be both the same. So I think you have to really have the talent to be top 3 in your position. So if we're talking about current, I think the likes of Trent and Kimmich, they're definitely generational talents, because those kind of right backs, potentially turned central midfielders, defensive midfielders, don't come around every day at all. Don't come around very often at all, if we're going to be completely honest. Mbappe, of course, is the obvious one. I would say Sancho is. I could see Sancho potentially. Sancho's one of the best right wingers in the world right now, let alone when he hits his peak. But yeah, I think there's a lot of players who that thing gets thrown about, and when you're actually looking at it, you're like, no, you're just going to be a very good player. But when you retire, there's going to be other very good players who are similar to you.
Okay. Come on. Let me just get this super chatty up in there so I don't forget about it. From Just Person, who says FUV, very colorful language, maybe not as much as Lampard, but still. FUV, F Sari, F Danilo, Sir Alex, bring Cristiano home. Cristiano is not returning back to Man United. It's not happening, never will happen. It's not happening. So Beston, please stop having these extremely jaded views.
Let me just Neeks.
Yeah.
If Cristiano Ronaldo was to go back to Man United, would you be happy?
I mean, it depends how much it costs, to be honest. If he goes back
is it your money? It's not your money. Is it your money? Is it yours?
No, but it's not going to be cheap.
But the thing is, because if it's not about whether my money or not, because I know that if we were to sign Cristiano Ronaldo for 80 million, for example, we're not going to go out and get probably positions or players that we actually need that's going to take us forward in the next few years, or the next 5 years, whatever it may be. If we've got an unlimited pit, then of course get Ronaldo, get Sancho, get Van der Beek, get a centre back, whoever that might be, Upamecano or whatever. But I know that's not going to be the case. I know that if we were to buy Ronaldo in the summer, including his wages and all that, it could really be our only signing, if we're going to be honest. So the price comes in it for me, and the wages. Those are the two things. And if he's on a cut price 20 million because he just wants to leave Juve, or he's free, his contract's up, he wants to come back, I don't know, then yeah, cool, take him, pay him 500,000 a week, whatever. No, I will take that all day long. No way. No questions asked. But I don't really want to pay over 50 million for him. Really, even 50 million is a lot for someone who's going to give you 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. So if you was to go get him, hypothetically, you probably wouldn't get a Sancho. So
exactly.
wouldn't that be very short-sighted? Not only are you not going to get a Sancho, but he's probably going to take a place of either Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. one of those three, their progress is going to be stunted because Ronaldo's not going to sit on the bench.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's all context, isn't it? I mean, if if Juve said, all right, you give us Alexis Sanchez, and we give you Cristiano Ronaldo, you're just swapping one. You're swapping one big wages for a next. So I'll take it. But if it's going to scupper in important transfers that we need, like a Sancho, then no. I would rather kind of try and secure our long-term success rather than getting something instantly. Yes, he might come in and win us a Premier League title tomorrow, but does that mean that we're going to be set back another 5 years because he can only give us 1.5 seasons? I don't know.
Exactly.
All right, so let's move on to our next question. Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan Ahmud, who says, what are your top 2 of all time of each of these countries? France, Germany, Brazil, Argentina, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, England. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, all right. So let me write.
So it's top 2 players, yeah?
Top 2 players of all time. Okay, so I say so. Top 2 players of all time. So France, I am rolling with, of course, Zidane. And you know what? I am probably going to say, this is of all time, I'm going to say Desailly, because we have to wait until Mbappe. And because again, Mbappe and Pogba are still in there. I think so. As of right now, Zidane and Desailly. Germany, I will say, I would still say Manuel Neuer. Oh yeah, I'll say Neuer and Bart Simpson, aka Philip Lahm. Brazil, R9 and I'll possibly say, that's a tough one. But I'll probably say, let me see, for Brazil, of each of these countries. You see, okay, so right now I'll say R9 and I'll say Dino. I'll say R9 and I'll say, you know what? No, I'm going to say R9 and Romario. R9 and Romario. Argentina, Maradona and Riquelme. Italy, Pirlo and
See, are you doing this by players that you like the most, or the players who were the greatest for their country?
It's a mixture. I'm doing it as a mixture. I'm doing it based on how well they played for their country, how well I think they've performed, and their quality overall. So basically, because again, he's not putting the parameters, so I'm making the parameters because he's not really defined those the parameters. So I am just using my own personal parameters. So you guys are welcome to use your own parameters. Yes. So Italy, I'm rolling with Italy, Pirlo. I'm going to say Baggio, Pirlo and Baggio. Netherlands, Edgar Davids, Dennis Bergkamp. Spain, Raul and I would say David Villa. England, you know what? No, Spain, I would say Raul, and I'm going to say Ike Casillas. You know, I'm just going to say England, Joe Cole, and Joe Cole and Rio. All right, Devil.
All right. Well, firstly, I'm just going to say I'm only going to pick players that I have seen. So within my lifetime, who I've seen and who I remember playing. So I'm not going to pick the likes of Beckenbauer or Pele or anyone like that. So the first country, if I'm not mistaken, was it Germany? Who's the first one?
Actually, let me
say again. France. Sorry, France. So Zidane and Henry. That's easy. Germany. Ozil. No, I'm not going to say Ozil.
Relax, Devil. Relax.
You know what? For me, Germany, it's not straightforward. I thought it would be, but it's not. I'll come back to Germany. Brazil, R9. I'm going to say R9 and Cafu.
I was thinking about
Cafu. I think Argentina. Again, Argentina is a bit of a
tricky wait. Devil, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, oops. I'm sorry. Netherlands. I'm sorry. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Relax, chill. I'm sorry. Davids and Robin. I forgot about Robin. You see, for me, Robin is beyond Dutch. Robin is beyond Dutch.
It is beyond
Robin, listen, he has exceeded a country. You see, for me, Robin is from Earth. So you know what? No. Davids and Beckham. Robin isn't Dutch to me. Robin is of a different race. He's of a different race. He's not Dutch. So yeah, I'm going to keep it. Robin is of an ethereal race. Devon.
For Germany, I'm coming back to Germany. I'm gonna say Oliver Kahn and Lothar Matthäus.
I forgot about Kahn.
Lothar Matthäus was a baller. So yeah, Argentina. I'm gonna say Messi because anytime I could get Messi into something, I'm gonna say Messi. I just love watching him play, even though he ain't been the greatest for Argentina. So I'm gonna say Messi and Varane.
Varane was good.
I used to love watching Varane play football until he went to Man United and mashed up his career. Varane was an absolute baller. I could say Aymar as well because I used to love Aymar, but I'm going to go with Varane. Italy, Cannavaro, Del Piero. Love watching Del Piero play football as well. Met him once in Piccadilly Circus, just to throw that out there. Netherlands, Davids has to be in there. And Seedorf. Seedorf as well. Spain, David Villa, and then take your pick between Iniesta or Xavi. Either one of those two.
No, choose one. You got to choose one. It's got to be two. You have to choose one.
Xavi.
Okay.
England. I think there's some other countries underneath that. No, is it just England last country?
Spain, England. Yeah, that's it.
So England, Rooney, and Ashley Cole.
That's a good one. Ashley Cole was a good one. But I think I'll still stick with my two of Rio and Joe Cole. Knicks.
First things first, got some bad news, guys. The Ray nephew is now done, and my rum punch is a little bit weak. So I'm gonna have to put the rum punch on ice. I have to go head over to my grandma's in a bit after this stream, get some rum, and we can finish. Might even give you like a little tutorial if you got time.
Rookie
mistake. Why, I had like a party a few weeks back in it, and I had some rum left over. I thought it was enough, and I'm not happy now. I'm not gonna lie. But back to the topic. What are your two favorite rums? France. France. Why? Zidane. Zidane's definitely one, 100%. Other than that, I'm not a French lover. I'm not gonna lie.
Pick one, man. He said these guys won the World Cup and the Euros. You can't pick one.
He said
Mbappe. It has to be Mbappe. I'm not gonna lie.
All time.
Listen. I love Mbappe. I really do.
I don't care how much you love him. All time.
No, it's about I'm picking my favorite. I'm not saying who's the best.
My favorite all time.
I'm picking.
Your opinion is wrong.
Listen, when Mbappe hit the scene, man was doing up the pose and everything. I was there when they won the World Cup in France. Me and Mbappe, like we're just the same, innit? Me and prodigies and all that. Generational talents. Yeah. So I'm going with Mbappe because I don't really care that much. Germany, I like Thomas Muller. I like Thomas Muller a lot. I think he's one of the not even underrated. I think people know that he's good, but he's a bit misunderstood. People don't understand exactly what he's good at, but they know that he's good. And I like that mystery, that kind of mystery around him in that sense. Like, what's his best position? What is he actually good at? The man is just good at playing football. He knows how to play football. So definitely Thomas Muller. Philipp Lahm. Yeah, Philipp Lahm, definitely. I think he's, for me, best fullback I've ever seen, full stop. Man can play on both positions, and obviously moving to midfield as well. What we got? Brazil, Rivaldo, obviously, and Rivaldo.
Rivaldo before R9.
Yeah, 100%.
I dare you not to say R9. I will virtually slap.
No, but it's not about. I'm not just picking who are the two greatest of all time because it has to be Pele.
Pick R9, man. I moved to
He's picking the two that mean the most to him.
Yeah. So it's definitely Rivaldo. It's probably R9. But you know what it was? When I was growing up, Rivaldo was my guy. Ronaldo was my brother's guy. So I kind of let him have it. You have Ronaldo. You enjoy Ronaldo. I'm going to enjoy Ronaldo. So I never fell in love with Ronaldo, even though I loved him as a player. But definitely Rivaldo. And, why not give it to Ronaldo? Might as well. Decent footballer. Argentina. I'm going to come back to that one. Italy.
What? You can't wait. You can't pick. You can't think of.
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to Argentina. Italy. Buffon. I think Buffon. Arguably,
the guy who plays against Man United and the guy who refuses to retire.
Please. Arguably the greatest keeper of all time. Arguably the greatest keeper of all time.
45.
The fact that his the world record fee that he went for as a keeper, like that was amazing back then. 2000, I think, from Parma to Juve or something like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So definitely him. And you know what, Nesta. Out of the three, Nesta, Cannavaro, and Maldini, I always prefer Nesta. Always. Netherlands.
How did I
Patrick
forget about Maldini? Okay.
Netherlands, Patrick Kluivert, my favorite Dutch player, Patrick Kluivert, and Ryan Babel. No, I'm joking.
What?
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. Patrick Kluivert and Jaap Stam. Yes, Jaap Stam. Growing up, Spain. What? You got a problem? You got a problem?
Let him land, man. Let him land.
Spain, Iniesta, and David Villa. Yeah. England, Rooney and Rio.
Now go back to Argentina.
Rooney and Argentina. I mean, who cares, man? Who cares? Who really? You lot in the chat pick two for me, innit? I don't like Argentina. I don't really.
Zanetti.
Okay. So Knicks.
I really don't care about Argentina.
So why wouldn't you pick the greatest player of all time in Messi?
I'm not. You know what?
You're not what? You're not what?
No, what? You're not, What's that?
You know what it is? I think Messi's a brilliant player. And he's not the greatest player of all time anyway, but not my greatest player of all time. But you know what it is? And it's, maybe I'm taking it out on Messi and really I shouldn't. It's the Messi stands that made me sick. Like, it's because I can't enjoy him without others really having a wank fest around it. And it just takes away my enjoyment of it. It's like, can we all just get along? No, we can't get along.
No, we can't.
When Messi, so that's the problem. So, you know, you're right, Messi 100%. But it's like you say Messi and then everyone, you look in the chat, everyone's like, see, yeah, Messi. Like, just relax, man. Can I just pick him in peace? Like, that kind of. So, yeah, Messi, I'll give Messi that. Why not Sergio Romero, isn't it?
All right. So this guy said Romero from Just Person, who says Pele, Neymar, Pogba, Zidane, the real goats. Just Person, you're smoking crack. like smoking crack. Like, I mean, and I don't know why every time you come into the stream you smoke crack before coming in, because you 100% are smoking crack before coming into the streams, because
that's his thing, man. That's his thing.
Comments to make.
Some people drink, you know, some people smoke crack. That's his thing.
But the thing there was that, okay, smoke crack after the stream. Don't smoke crack and then questions that have been crack induced. That's what I just asked. No, feel free to smoke crack. It's cool. Crack afterwards, man. Also, from Andrew Lori says, Tammy Giroud minutes per goal is greater than Martial and Rashford's in the Premier League. Andrew, that's all cool, but all I care about is on Sunday, Chelsea get that top four.
Sorry, can I just say that that's
on Sunday? That's all I care about. That's the only statistic that I care about personally. But
can I just say that's
an interesting stat.
That's ridiculous. I'll tell you why. Because each time Rashford and Martial play, that's 180 minutes, whereas each time Tammy and Giroud plays 90 minutes. because it's either one or the other. So
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't know what you want to do with that. Just take
Oh
that
yeah,
away.
yeah, sure, yeah. Fake stuff. From Footy Wizard. Woo! Someone's gone visual on us, man. Wow, graphics. Which player do you think of when you see this? That's an interesting thing. Which player do you think of when you see that image? You know what? I would say I'm going to come out and say Son. I think Son is
that's fair enough.
Son is really good. As in some of the stuff that I see him do in games and the way in which he causes so much issues for defenders, I'm like, this dude is really good. So I would say Son because the guy has zero hype. No one really hypes him up, but he has the amount of things that he can do. People are sleeping on what Son can do. So for me, I think my thing will be Heung-min Son.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
It is.
Try and think of someone else, but that is a very good answer.
I think for me, of all time, the one that comes to my mind is Philip Lahm again. He's just one of the guys gets on with his business, but really and truly, as I said, for me, he's the best. Who? Yeah. So that's of all time. As at the moment, I think Son's a pretty good answer.
And well, people in the live chat are saying Gnabry. Would you guys agree with Gnabry?
Yeah, kind of. He kind of has been hyped though. Maybe he doesn't get spoken of consistently, but he has kind of been hyped on and off.
True, because people when they talk about Germany, they talk about Gnabry, Sane for Germany. So, and I think that Gnabry is talked of a lot more than I think a Son is. You know.
Yeah. I think Gnabry did go through my mind, but then I think I do see times where people talking about him quite highly. Whereas Son,
nobody really talks about him.
No, but when they do talk about him, it's always like Kane is always in the conversation as well. It's never just Son on his own merit. It's always if Kane's missing, Son's a good replacement. It's never Son is as vital part to Tottenham's team as what Kane is. So I think Son is the correct. I'm going to go with Son as well. I can't really think of anyone else.
Neeks?
No, I said. I think Son's a good answer. Of all time, has to be Philip Lahm.
And another one I would say, and another you guys will hate me for saying this. I will say the Oos. The reason why I say the Oos is that I am the only
Wait.
You can't
when
be
you
the
go
most
for 100,
expensive teenager in
exactly.
the world.
Wait, can I land?
No hype. No, you can't. No, it's wrong.
No.
It's wrong.
No,
so I can't land this.
You're in the wrong runway. Take it back to Abuja.
Okay. So I have to now go and land South America.
Lagos,
man. Shout out to man. Some pandem and some eba, some amala. So bro, I could do with some eba right now. From Daniel Spence. Why is your photo looking like an R&B pic or the kind of pic that you send a girl who you're stalking? No, it is. No, that is the pic. That's the pic that a girl says, "Yo, this guy's been talking last week." Because it just gives you those vibes. But I may be wrong. So, hey guys, you know what? I like these visual questions. One gotta go.
So who's that? There's Holland, Felix, Havertz, and Lautaro Martinez.
Yep.
Has to be Felix. It has to be Felix based on this season. And again, the hype, the fact that he costs 120 million, the other three have done much more this season, especially to really warrant the hype that they get. I'm not saying Felix ain't a talented player, but he still needs to prove that.
You know
Lautaro Martinez is doing madness in
I'm going to go from a different angle. So Nick has gone for the what have you done lately, or rather, what have you done in this season angle? I'm going to go on a much larger angle because I'm going to say Lautaro Martinez because I'm going to say that João Felix, that is the wrong system. And I'm just going to hold in hope that if he plays in a much more attacking team, this guy can be quite exceptional. Now, Lautaro Martinez has had a very good season, but especially in the tail end of the season, I've seen that Lautaro Martinez is maybe limited. very good, but I do think he's limited. And I think João Felix's upside and his ceiling is greater than Lautaro Martinez. I think, look, for Havertz, what he's done for his age is amazing. Haaland, for what he's done for his age is amazing. So those guys are holding being there. But I would still keep João Felix because I do believe that his potential is greater than Lautaro Martinez's potential. Devil?
Yeah, I'm going to say Martinez only because he's lost me money on Football Index. His stock has not gone the way I thought it was going to go, and he's losing me money. So I'm going to get rid of him. But if it's from a footballing point of view, João Felix, I think based on what has happened over the last year or so, he's definitely the odd man out when you look at these four players. So I'm going to say João Felix. But I do agree with you. I think he's got a massive upside once he gets his confidence back, and if he plays in a more attacking unit, then yeah, we might see a different player. But for now, he's the only one out of those four that's even possible.
What I would say, in terms of if he's going to play a more attacking unit, they bought him for 120 million. Unless Simeone's planning on leaving, he ain't playing in no more attacking unit. I know when they're buying him for 120 million. So this is it. Better get used to it.
Yeah.
Fucking wild, man. Oh God, this dude. This man. For my good friend Just Bestin, Tony Magnifico. You know what? If there's one thing in life, I will try and find Neymar to send you a signed jersey of his kneecap.
Well, I thought this guy was a Barcelona fan.
No. This is a hardcore United and Neymar stan. This is a Neymar fanboy and a United hardcore fan.
Okay.
Can we come to a conclusion that Can we come to a conclusion that Martial is the best striker
in the league
at the moment? No, we can't. Oba and Vardy are stat padders. Kane is a fridge, and the Ings is all right. Fun fact: Martial has the most goals against the top 8 league teams in the league, more than any striker in the league. Now, here's my thing with this. I think we have said this or mentioned this before. As a striker, you are judged upon the goals that you score. Now, everything else is extra. Okay, your link-up play, how good you are at passing, your dribbling and everything. But primarily, your currency is goals scored. So when they look at the strike and look at your job description, the first thing it says in your job description is goal scoring. That is the first thing that you're looked at upon. So by that definition, I cannot put Martial above Aubameyang in terms of a striker. Now, I believe that if we're not talking about a football player in terms of ball control, footballing intelligence, first touch, awareness, and all sorts of those things, and technical ability, I'll say Martial might be one of the best strikers for that. But in terms of, you say striker, when I think of a striker, I think goals. In terms of goals, bro, I'm sorry, I'm putting Aubameyang ahead of him. I'm putting probably Vardy and Kane ahead of him in terms of the ability to score a high volume of goals. So that's just me. So yeah, I roll with them. I would say no. He's definitely one of the best, but I can't put him above Aubameyang. Like Aubameyang as a striker is that guy is finishing is next level. Devil?
Yeah. I think if you're saying is he the most informed striker in the league, then it's a conversation. Is he the most technically proficient player out of that list? Then it's a conversation. Does he have the most ability out of all of those players and the highest upside and the most potential? Then yeah, he's probably has. But in terms of the best striker, I can't say that he is. Remember, Aubameyang's banging all these goals from left wing. He's not even playing up front. Do you know what I mean? So when you're talking about a goal scorer, Aubameyang is a better goal scorer than Martial. To say that him and Vardy are stat padders, I understand it with Aubameyang because people say he don't score in the big games, although he scored a brace against Messi. But Vardy has made a career out of scoring against the big clubs. You know, he always scores against the big teams. So you can't say Vardy's a stat padder. Harry Kane has been scoring goals consistently for the best part of 10 years. So you can't say, you know, whatever you want to say against him is he's had bad injuries, but every time he's played a regular amount of games, he's banged goals. He still scored quite a few goals this season without even playing that many games. Ings is banging goals at Southampton. I don't think Martial will be banging goals at Southampton. So I think it's a bit disrespectful to those players to say it like how you did. Yes, you like Martial. Martial's a very good player. Martial's in the form of his life. But that doesn't make him the best striker in the league. The best striker in the league is the person with the most goals in the league, and that's Jamie Vardy.
Yeah. Nix?
He's still on mute.
Oh, sorry.
Leaks, man. Leaks.
Leaks is
Can
performing
we-
like, yeah.
Martial is not the best striker. For me, when you talk about the best, it's what have you done? What have you done? Martial ain't 20, 21. What have you done? What are you doing? Even this season, he's not performing better than all other strikers. I know he's had injuries, but there's other strikers that also have injuries. Devon mentioned that Aubameyang plays on the wide left as well. It's some, in the Arsenal system, that may be the best to get the best out of him in the current system. But if he was playing through the middle in a better system, he would score more goals than what he's getting at the moment. We've seen what he's done, in Dortmund, for example. But we can talk about ability. Martial has more ability than probably all of the people listed on that list, but he hasn't done it. Kane scored 30 goals in a season, like back to back. Aubameyang's done that as well, internationally as well. Martial's yet to perform at those levels, Champions League, just for me to come out and say, yes, he's the best. He has the ability to be the best in the league, but until I see it, then I can't give him those crowns. I would say he's better than Ings. I would say, is he better than Vardy? Is he a better striker than Vardy? If I had to buy one tomorrow, I'm buying Martial all day. If I'm buying one tomorrow, I'm buying Martial all day. I think everyone would. But again, Vardy's banging. You can't take that away from him.
Better than Tammy.
Of course, he's better than Tammy. That's not even an argument.
Yeah. Don't be. I was just joking, but you don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be crass. Relax.
I'm just saying, innit? That's not an argument.
Relax. You don't have to be crass.
Well, to be fair, both Tammy and Martial have held bench for Giroud in different circumstances. Just saying.
That's what they have in common, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that question, dear sir. Let's go to this one. This is an interesting one. So thank you, Mr. Paul, for sending in your question. And Paul says, is Pulisic the real deal? How do Chelsea fit in the sick Werner, Ziyech, Abraham, I think that's Loftus-Cheek. Was this with RB? I think that's Loftus-Cheek. Hudson-Odoi and Mount.
Let me answer first. Drop the last four. Well, Ross,
if Liverpool don't sign anyone, can they win it again next year? Well,
let me say first.
Very quickly, no.
Okay. Abraham. Well, firstly, how do you fit them in? Drop the last four names on that list, and then you can easily get 3 into 3. That's the first thing. I hope that answers your question. Is Pulisic the real deal? I think he can be. I think he's shown that we know he got the ability. The ability is not in question. Now he has to show, can I do it on a consistent basis? I know some people he hasn't come to replace Hazard per se, but I mean effectively he has. As you can see, they're very similar types of players in terms of the way that they carry the ball, and he's probably even more direct in terms of a goal threat.
Yes, I was about to say that he's more direct. He's more direct.
Yeah. So he could even, if he hits his potential, he could even be more influential for Chelsea in that aspect than Hazard was. If you get the right players behind him, then he doesn't need to do the creative job that Hazard was doing. He can focus on the goal scoring, and that side of the game. So he is Hazard's replacement. Can he be as consistent, even within Hazard's inconsistencies? Can he be as consistent as Hazard was? Because a lot of people criticize Hazard for his inconsistencies, and fairly so when you're talking about top 3, top 5 players in the world, right, in compared to a lot of other players at that level. But he was still Chelsea's best player, bar none. Pulisic needs to go out and say, I am the man. I am the man. You can rely on me when things are getting tough, when we need that goal. I'm going to be the one to get it. And this season, since lockdown, he's come through and he's got crucial goals and assists at different times off the bench and even from starting. Let's see what he does next season. He has a whole season. Hopefully, barring any injuries, let's see what he can do and where he can take Chelsea. But I think it looks good. It definitely looks good. And if Liverpool don't sign anyone, can they win? I mean, in theory, yes. Because if the question for me is, what do Man City do? If Man City go in with the same squad, or they don't, more importantly, get...
It's...
One second. Wait. If they don't get a world-class centre-back that can go next to Laporte, for me, that means Liverpool can do it. If Man City go and do that, and Liverpool don't sign anyone, then it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult.
All right, Dev.
Yeah, for me, the Pulisic. I remember having a conversation with Drifty when Liverpool were first linked with Pulisic when he just come through a dorm. I think he was 17, going on 18, and Drifty was worried that Liverpool wanted him just because he's American and it's commercially it makes sense. I remember saying to him, "No, this kid's special. He's a special talent." And if you sign him, it will be because he is a special talent, not just because of a commercial. And I remember when Chelsea did sign him, a lot of people were saying it's a commercial deal because it's going to raise their profile in America. And a lot of people weren't actually looking at the fact that he is a very, very, very good footballer. He had a tough run at the end of his Dortmund career. It wasn't really happening for him. But if you give him the confidence of play him every week in, week out, you're going to see what we're seeing now. And he's a very good player. And if you take away some of that added burden of the creative side of it by bringing in a Ziyech, or you give him a striker who he can put the ball on the plate for, who's intelligent, makes intelligent runs, i.e. a Werner, you're going to see the best of Pulisic. And I think Chelsea got a very good player, and I think he is the real deal. And to answer the second part of that question about how do they fit all those players in, I agree with Neeks. You play Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech. That could be your front three. Ziyech is a very... He could play in many positions. You could play him in the 10, you could play him a bit deeper, you could play him wide. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how Lampard fits all these pieces in. But if he went with that front three, I think they'll be successful. As long as they've got a solid base in the midfield behind Pulisic, Ziyech and Werner. He'll fit Mount in there somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mount playing at 10 somehow. But Chelsea have got a very solid midfield and very solid attack for next season. As far as Liverpool winning the league, if they don't sign anyone, you have to remember winning the league is one thing. Defending it is something completely different. Not many teams have done it. We all say about how Liverpool's mentality is very strong, but we've seen, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would be slightly worried. We saw how once we clinched the title, we haven't performed at the same level. Going into the next season, there's a solid target on your back. Solid. People are going to be coming for you. The players that they have is not exactly the youngest squad. They've got a lot of players who are 28, 29. They need to sign some players to just keep it fresh, just to keep things ticking over. Again, you have to wonder what other teams are doing. We see what Chelsea are doing. They're being linked with Jimenez at the moment as well. Chelsea and City are in a position where they're very lucky because a lot of teams, most teams across the country have financial restraints right now. They don't know what's happening financially. Chelsea and Man City don't care. They're rich. Right now, they're like, look, all these poor people can't buy no one. We'll have him. We'll have him and we'll have him. And Liverpool can't really keep up with that. I know Liverpool got money, but they haven't got the kind of money Chelsea and Man City have got. So it's very interesting. I think they need to freshen up the squad. But you're looking at a team that they've got almost 200 points over the last 2 seasons. So do they need that much to really have a go at next season? It's going to be interesting. But I think Man City ain't going to sit around and have another season like they had this season. No way.
So just very briefly, because we can just make the time. I mean, yeah, look, I think Pulisic can be an extremely good player. I think he's even surprised me because I remember watching him at Dortmund, and I was like, oh no, this guy is real good, and I will still say, just on base of ability, pure ability, he's the best American player of all time, based on pure ability. And yeah, I think he is the real deal, and I think the more and more he is played in his strongest position, and the more and more he's encouraged to be direct, I think he'll be very key. I said again, I don't know why you put Mount in that whole thing, man. Like, bro, Mount's like, get that dude the heck out of there. But I just think, yeah, it's just going to be a case of chopping and changing and playing a very fluid system, and I think Werner should play on the left or on the right or on one of the flanks. I think that's his strongest position because I think the issue will be Werner because Werner's most effective position is wide left, but then you cannot displace Pulisic, who has now probably made that position his own.
Wide left in a front two, so it's not a left winger or even inside forward. It's like a split striker role. So it's a bit the way Lampard plays doesn't really suit what Werner's done so far. So
but then there's like based on how he likes to operate and where he likes to position himself, whether it's a 2 or a 3, he likes to come out wide.
Yeah, but I'll give you an example.
He's the striker in the middle, having to play with his back to goal.
But let me give you an example. Henry was a striker who always listed out left, but he would nowhere have been as effective if Wenger put him as the left winger in that system. He played him as a 2, and he allowed him that license to go out wide, even though Perez was there. So I think starting Werner as a left winger and him playing as a striker who goes out wide is 2 different things. But yeah, it's a good.
But see, I think though is that he has gotten him because he feels that he's more clinical than Tammy and Giroud. So I believe that he's bought him to be a striker. So I think the issue will arise is that can he actually, which is why I am more excited about the ZH signing than the Werner signing. I was like, okay, cool, it's cool, he's great, but ZH is the guy that I am, because I don't know, this guy is a baller. And the thing about ZH is that, as you guys have said, he can play multiple positions. So it is going to be interesting to see how he fits in Werner and how he gets the best out of him, man. So, all right, what are we doing here? So, next question.
Did you read the super chat from Yasser Saeed? I think it was.
Okay, I think he had a beef with you.
Yeah.
From the other side, it said that Benzema, Lewandowski, Martial, shame on you, leaks.
Wait, so they're the top 3 strikers in the world, yeah?
See, this is the thing about club merchants is that as much as I rack on nicks and so forth, he still is objective. All because you support a club, it doesn't mean that everything your club does is good and every player in your club is top 5. That's psychotic. So for Western and people, you can't tell me that Pogba is the greatest midfielder of all time. That's insane. Say, Pogba is better than Zidane. That is cocaine talk. That's the drugs talking. So you have to, even if you support a club, you must still maintain a level of objectivity. You being objective and being truthful does not make you less of a supporter of your club. It doesn't. Next question from SK. What is the most insane skill you have witnessed? Oh my God. Do you know how crazy that is? Even before the moment he said that, I was like, oh yeah. And it's the one you just said. For me, it's Dino against Chelsea. I mean, for me, take a pick from Dino. Because my thing is that I remember, again, there was one thing that Dino did where like he was and again, this just shows you how disrespectful Dino was to other professional players who had like wives, kids, and so forth. Where this guy was flicking the ball up and he held the ball like this. I was like, what? In a professional game? I said, Dino, you can't do that in a professional game. But Dino didn't want to listen. Like, some of the stuff that Dino did was stupid. Like, there was one thing he also did as well where it was against Werder Bremen, where like, I think he had the ball, and the ball was stuck to his feet, and it seemed as if he wanted to pass, but he sort of did like a drag back where he dragged it through and he went through past both of the defenders. Like, what the heck? But look, man, I saw it live. When Dino scored that goal, I was like, because nobody would think of doing that. Call it a topo, call it this or that. The fact that he managed to score from that position is stupid. And even when the ball went through, I was like, wait, have I just witnessed Juju live on television or something? Like that makes no sense. Like, so yeah, I think for me, that Dino thing might be the most Actually, R9 did some pretty stupid things, bro. Actually, no. There was one skill that R9 did where, well, obviously, against Lazio, UEFA Cup final, where like he goes past those guys and it's like a quick rollover, and literally he puts the defender right down on his ass on his floor. Now R9 did some stupid stuff. Basically, between Annan and Dino, they for me produce some of the most insane skills I've ever seen. Devil.
Yeah, Dino had a lot. There's the two that stand out for me. One was on the touchline. I think it was against Bilbao, and he was just doing keepy ups. Basically, he had two defenders on him. He just kept flicking the ball over their head. Every time they turned around, he flicked the ball back over their head. I think about 4 times he did it, and I was like, just kick him. Just kick him. He's taking the piss. Kick him. Another one was his goal against Villarreal, the overhead kick, which was so low to the floor, it defied all laws of physics. I don't understand how he managed to get underneath the ball and do an overhead kick when the ball was probably about knee height. It was ridiculous. But one of the best skills I remember seeing is Yannick Bolasie for Crystal Palace. I think it was against Liverpool, against Lovren.
My goodness.
Was it? You know the one I'm talking about? Where I still don't know how he did it.
Mad flick at
He did some mad flick, and I don't know how. To this day, I've seen it, and I don't understand how it.
I don't remember this.
It's in the, I think it was against Liverpool. I'm not sure, but he did some sort of flick where he rolled the ball, and then I've never seen another player do it. He's the only one I've seen do it. He kind of rolled the ball up the side of his foot and kind of flicked it over the defender and then ran onto it. It's probably on YouTube. Yannick Bolasie has a lot of different skills that are on YouTube, but to this day, I don't know how he did it. Don't know.
Actually,
I remember watching it. I was like,
that Beckham skill against Newcastle.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with that Yannick Bolasie one. If you get a chance, have a look. Check it out.
Yeah, no, I will. I want to check that out. Nix.
You know what? I don't disagree with either what you said. But I think, you know what one comes to my mind is the Berbatov versus West Ham, where it's not like a flashy skill of a bone or anything like that, but it's so classy and effective where he's running towards the touchline and he turns to like his back towards the crowd, so to speak. Defender comes sliding in, he flicks it over the defender's leg and comes inside and assists Ronaldo for a tap in. Like, it's an absolutely brilliant one. Again, I think it was like 2009. So if you haven't seen
remember that.
But it's a brilliant assist. And I think, no, you're not expecting it. From that position, you're thinking, quickly lash across the box or maybe a drag back or something like that. But it's Berbatov, isn't it? Berbatov don't do simple, he don't do normal. Yeah, I'll put that one right up there. But yeah, obviously, we could probably have our whole discussion and it could just be Ronaldinho. Like, he just did madness on the football pitch. So,
one more as well. The Thierry Henry goal against Charlton. I don't know if you remember that, where the defender's on his back. He's holding the defender, and he just backheels it through the defender's leg.
That was crazy.
By the way, the Yannick Bolasie was against Tottenham.
It was Tottenham. Okay. Yeah. The Lovren one was when he bent down, pretend to pick the ball up.
Yeah.
That's so rude. Yeah.
All right. Let's just move on to the from Sean CG. Could Barcelona post Messi end up like AC Milan? From looking at their poor signings, managers, and their financial position. You see, I think I've had this sort of come up and down again. And I think, look, there is that danger, but this is why it's not going to happen. The reason why it's not going to happen is the South American link. And by that, I mean this. Now, X1 were huge, they were massive, and of course, people were wanting to go there. But I do think that what Barcelona and Real Madrid have, like, this special potion, which means that they can never end up like an AC Milan, which is that when you're a young South American star, you will always want to play for either Barcelona or Real Madrid because of the lineage of Argentine and Brazilian stars that have been there. And there is this cultural thing that is now accepted in South America that to truly be even considered one of the greats, you've got to succeed at either Real Madrid or Barcelona. So Barcelona are going to definitely feel it when Messi leaves, who, as I said, is the most consistent football player of all time. But they will find another star. They'll find another superstar, just not as consistent as Messi, but they will, because Barcelona and Real Madrid's pool is unlike any other club. And I've always said, and I think it was called, even when we're doing Hope Meets Banter, I was saying to the guys that if you're a young star from South America, you're not choosing Liverpool over Real Madrid or Barcelona. You're not choosing Chelsea or United or Bayern over. No, you are Real Madrid and Barcelona will always get first dibs on the emerging superstar from South America. Always.
You see me? I think it's money. The difference between AC Milan and any Italian club, to be fair, especially even when they're dominant, the money in the game at the time is incomparable to now. And I'll give you, like, I know you have hope, for example, you've mentioned whether Man United could go down that road that potentially AC Milan. But I think what stops them, Man United, doing that is the money aspect, the ability to spend their way out of trouble. So it's like, if it's really going bad, we will just splash the cash. We will splash the cash. And it may just only get you from 7th to 5th or 4th, but it doesn't allow you to drop to 10th. And then you're in the wilderness trying to get back into Europe and rebuild and trying to find these young talents. So the ability for the likes of Real Madrid, of Barcelona, and Manchester United, just probably the three main clubs, really and truly, when we talk about money, is that they can always spend their way out of trouble. Anyone else in football, obviously, you know, you got owners like Man City, Chelsea, but outside of those billionaire owners, they don't bring the same revenue into the club, which means that if things really go bad, it's not guaranteed that you can easily get your way back. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal are probably a good example. Not that they were ever as consistent or successful as AC Milan, but growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, they were right up there. But because of their inability to be able to spend their way out of trouble, they have to make the right decisions all the time, or more often than a Man United. But Barcelona can have 3, 4, 5 bad transfers and transfer windows, because the next summer they can just go again. And if one of them comes off, then they're right back up there. So I think the money aspect for me is the biggest reason why they'll never become an AC Milan.
Another reason why AC Milan were in trouble so badly is because of their owners. Remember, they're owned by Berlusconi, and Berlusconi was a madman politician. When he got all of his convictions or whatever, you know, he was in the limelight. They had to sell. It was then sold off to some Chinese businessmen, and it was all a bit fishy. That's not going to happen to Barcelona. Barcelona is not going to get sold off down the river for no little bit of money. So they won't have those same issues. Also, the way that the Spanish football is set up for Barcelona and Real Madrid to continue to be successful means that those two will never fall off. The furthest they'll fall will be 3rd, 4th, possibly 5th. They're never going to fall off the way AC Milan did, regardless of whether Messi's there or not. They might not be as good on the football pitch, but off the pitch, they won't be in any problems. They might not have money now, but they'll find a way of making money. Trust me. It's a bit murky in the way the financial things work with Real Madrid and Barcelona, the government helping out, banks helping out, and this, that, the other. So they'll never be in the same position that AC Milan were in.
All right. Our final question. What the freak? All right, here we go. So this is a question from a secret admirer. Okay. Aha, I've got a question here. So from the mysterious, Hooli has 31% on their thingy, and who uses EE? Why did they use EE? Do you think? And also, why are they saying why use 3 exclamation marks? Just use 1. Do you think the Premier League should have an American style all-star game at the end of the season, not for the South, teams selected by players' votes? I remember us having a similar question to this before. I remember saying that would be pretty cool, though. But then you have to say, you see, the thing, though, is, yes, it should happen. When it would happen is during the international break, because similar to the NBA, they have like a massive break. Similar to the international break of 2 weeks, I say, okay, boom, let us have that in there. Because remember, they used to do Europe versus Africa games. They used to do like Africa versus Europe, Africa versus South America. They used to do All-Stars versus Europe. And I actually miss those. You know, and I think, you know, especially if you're doing it, let's say you're doing it for a charity exhibition, it'd be really cool if either fans vote or players vote and you have like a Europe versus thing. But I think if you had an all-star game, North v South, that would be pretty cool. But the issue is the calendar is unlike the NBA in football. The so-called break is international games being played rather than players being allowed to rest. So I don't think there's any place within the footballing calendar where they could fit that in, because you can't put that in for during the summer, because look, guys have to rest and they deserve, and it's, I think, in the corner where, we need this amount of time for us to rest. So, but if they were able to fit it in, I think that would be cool. Now the question is, how good would one team be lopsided? Because if it's North v South,
Milford win.
You think?
City, Liverpool.
Yeah, you say that, but this is what I'm saying. So if it comes down
you
to
have both Manchester sides, you have Liverpool against what, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham,
West Ham.
Yeah.
Mikel Antonio
but
running.
it depends on how
So where would you
put the
Wolves
divide?
North
So
or South?
it depends. So you'd put the divide what? It would have to be the Midlands somewhere, but would it encapsulate Wolves, or would Wolves go up?
Maybe you get one Wolves will be on one side and Aston Villa the other, probably.
Yeah. So
like-
you'd have to look at it that way, and also it comes down to votes from players. So it's not. It's like the way they do it in the NFL anyway. Is they have all the players vote for who they think should reach the Pro Bowl, and then this is another caveat of it, is that fitting it in, you do it before the Champions League. But what you do is, if an English side has got to a Champions League or Europa League final, their players can't play in it. So you go down to the next set of votes. So it might not be that you have all these Man City and Liverpool players, because if they're in the final of these European competitions, their players aren't going to be able to play.
I think if you're going to do it, there has to be a cap, maybe 2 or 3 players from any one club in the squad, for example. So you couldn't.
That would work. Yeah. Like two players per club.
Yeah,
so you can have like a nice variety.
But you know what? I have to I don't watch NBA that much, to be honest. So I don't know how, when it comes to American sports, but the patriotism and what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember the word has slipped my mind. But that comes within football. I don't think fans would like it. Man United ain't gonna want to be supporting Firmino and Jordan Henderson, and vice versa. We're not going to be Aguero linking up with Martial. I'm not sold.
I think in American sports, the rivalries are not as vociferous or as aggressive as they are there. Because see, it's how it's promoted is that the All-Star thing, it's about glitz, glamour, a rapper comes down and plays during the halftime show and everything. So basically, and that's the issue. And maybe that shows you like the kinds of cultural differences, is that an All-Star game is a celebration. But if they did a football All-Star thing, I just don't think they'd have the same kind of American mindset of celebration as ways that the Americans do. So
I'll give you, because for example, I always see it and I hear on social media, you got this East versus West thing in America, East Coast, West Coast, whether it's in rap, whether it's in sports, they got those divides. Whereas in UK, the divide is the cities. So you rep London, you rep Manchester, you rep as in just in general life, Liverpool, Merseyside, those kind of things. So now to merge Merseyside with Moss side, with the middle, with Tyneside and West side, those divides are already created. So at best,
why are we divided? Why can't we be one human race?
But it's just how the country is. It's just how the country is, and at best you could say, oh, you might get a Merseyside versus Moss side, but then within that already, within Merseyside, there's already a rivalry.
Yeah, but that's a friendly rivalry.
It is, and it isn't. It isn't.
And watch games together. Liverpool and Everton, they're no real team.
And yeah, so Newcastle and Sunderland ain't sharing a 1-1 kick and dressing room. But it ain't happening. So
yeah, but they have to if they're both in the England squad. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
For me, I just think that's just childish.
One second. But even then, you hear about the divides that happen in the England squad. You hear it. Everyone talks about it. That's why the England team, that golden generation, weren't maybe as successful they could have been, because you go in there and it's Man United and Liverpool, and you're like, I'm not passing the ball to bloody Steven Gerrard. No, let me give it a lesser Man United player to do this.
And that's why you have to credit Spain and Del Bosque. because as divided as those guys were, the divide was not greater than Barcelona, Real Madrid, but they were still able to sort of still somehow come together and work together as a team.
Even though Jose tried to do all his damnedest to split it.
Leave Uncle Mo alone. Leave Uncle Mo alone. Or let's just read the super chats before we just round off. So, the real deal says, HH, what's your reaction of the DMX versus Snoop Dogg epic? I mean, did you guys watch it?
I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to see it. No, I've seen reactions on Twitter.
You can watch it on YouTube. The whole thing is on YouTube.
It's on their it's on
Revolt. On Revolt's YouTube page. They call the whole thing.
I was saying it's also
because I think Ciroc is a thing. No, it was very good.
No, it was. I watched the first hour and then I fell asleep. So I
watched the whole thing pretty much.
First hour. How long was it on for?
About 2 hours.
About 2 hours 20 minutes.
Yeah. I watched the second half this morning.
Oh no, it was really good. It was really like, I mean, it was in terms of just
I love Snoop. I like DMX.
People are sleeping on Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is one of the most skilled rappers of all time.
The GOAT. Because he makes.
But you see, you can't really put DMX against Snoop because Snoop's career is what.
DMX has got albums and hits.
Yeah, but how many albums does DMX have hits on? Like the first three. After that, what has he got?
No. Devil.
Snoop's been going from like 88.
Devil, just watch the video. See,
you know what I mean?
Because that's what I was thinking. When you watch, of course Snoop had much more hits, but Devil, just watch the whole thing, and you're like, because I forgot some of the tracks that thing he had as well. I say, oh man, that's not bad.
No, I was a massive DMX fan when I was young. So.
What it showed was that Snoop has hits for days. DMX is very underrated lyrically.
Yeah, he's lyrically.
But you know why people didn't rate DMX lyrically? Because his lyrics are dark. Which is funny. Which was funny because that's the same reason people love Eminem's lyrics. But we won't go into that.
We don't know what. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I was gonna say, when it comes to like rap, if you were just to say this is a straight rap or hip hop, then DMX has more clout. But because Snoop is just so varied in what he's done, I mean, he didn't drop no Snoop Lion with a little track with Eddie Murphy. He got a couple tracks there, but I think his style is just so much more varied that it appeals to a wider audience. DMX is hip hop. You have to be a big rap fan, and DMX will resonate with you. But DMX got some bangers.
All right, let's just round up some of these other switches, man. So from all right, HH. Okay, so sorry. Why isn't Dino a horseman? He deserves a convo. Look, I've already explained this whole thing about Ronaldinho is because, like, yes, he's in the conversation, but he had to win that World Cup. He had to say what's up in that Pacific World Cup. Yes, the side says Pulisic, Son, Kane, Aubameyang, front three, sheesh. So that would be the South team, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a good team. From Nasser, do you think Kalergi FC will do well next year? I have no idea who Kalergi FC are. What? Hey, am I getting spammed?
Yeah, I was like, have you got any moderators on here? Because
I should have some mods here. Because I think I'm actually getting spammed.
I'm seeing people like football joggers jog on. I'm seeing something about patriotic something.
Yeah, no, this is
what is going on,
guys? I think I've been hacked.
White lives matter. Oh yeah,
okay, so
wait, you've got moderators though.
Mods. Can you do something?
You know what I'm gonna say, Havo? Terry was speaking the other day. Someone hacked or did something and got in, and they blocked like bare people from their on their channel. So he got rid of all the mods and kind of started afresh. So when this is done, check your block people that's blocked and that kind of stuff. And then maybe kind of have a word and reallocate mod.
Yeah. I'd have to know. Yeah, all this WM. So just says no one can beat Eminem in a versus battle. unbeatable.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people.
yeah, no. Eminem isn't beating Snoop. Eminem isn't beating Drake. Eminem isn't beating Jay-Z. No, not happening. Those guys have too many dates. Damien says 14 is a number. 26, 66. Boy, what? From Jason Patriotic.
Don't
My
read
spirit
it.
to the right and the brave.
Don't read
Okay,
it.
I've been hacked.
Don't read it. Don't read it. Don't read it.
Yeah, no. Oh, okay, yeah, I've been hacked. So guys, yeah, I've been hacked. So let me just say this right here, guys. For you white skinhead nationalist pieces of crap, these three extremely arrogant, are extremely confident, three black men, the world is changing. The world is changing. The world is getting mixed up right now. So blacks and whites are mixing up. So I'm happy that you guys are here. Enjoy these beautiful black men because we're taking over and we're taking your women as well. We're taking your women as well. Because I'm sorry, man. Your white women, they are smiling with you in the day and they are laughing with us in the evening. That's all I'm saying. So you can say all the racist stuff you want, man. The white women, man, they're coming to us, man. So embrace change, embrace color, and allow more color into your life. Like, I think around more color would be better, guys. Football Dugout, guys. Remember the link is below in the description box. Football Dugout. Patreon.com/Football Dugout. That is patreon.com/Football Dugout. You can follow Nix and Devil on their Twitter handles in the description box. Guys, peace out, stay true, and we're out. F you racist pieces of crap. Black lives forever. Stay black, stay black.